Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the Big Tech Gut Check here on Scrolling to Death. This update is for the week of March 25th, 2024. This is a super quick weekly update for parents on all things social media and big tech. First update for this week is pretty major. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has signed a law that has given Florida one of U.S.'s most restrictive social media bans for minors. Once the law takes effect on January 1st, 2025, social media accounts for children under 14 will be banned, and kids who are 14 and 15 years old will require parental permission to sign up for social media. And if kids under 14 currently have a social media profile, the social media companies will have to delete it. This law also requires online pornography services to use age verification systems to keep minors off their platforms. Governor DeSantis stated, "Social media harms children in a variety of ways, and this new bill gives parents a greater ability to protect their children." I agree that this will help parents protect our kids. But I'm not sold on how this all is going to be implemented. I have questions like, how are they going to verify that new accounts are the age they say they are? What about the current accounts for kids under 14? I bet these kids have already updated their age to be 16 to avoid being deleted. How's the age verification going to work? How's parental permission going to work? And will this law be able to withstand all the lawsuits that social media companies are about to throw at it? I'll keep you updated as more information is released, but if this works, I'd love to see this restriction in place in every U.S. state. Now I'm going to mention a topic that needs a disclaimer, and that is child sexual abuse material, or CSAM for short. This topic is horrible. It's hard to talk about, but I really believe that parents need to know what's happening with CSAM in order to protect our kids from CSAM. Because the truth is that there are hundreds of millions of CSAM photos and videos being shared online, traded, and sold. And not just on the dark web, it's happening on Facebook Messenger, on Instagram, on WhatsApp, on Zoom. So today I wanted to share some new research with you. The Internet Watch Foundation found that nearly all child sexual abuse material on the internet is self-generated, meaning that the child was coerced into taking a sexualized photo or video. We're talking hundreds of thousands of photos and videos of kids under 10 years old being coerced, blackmailed, tricked, or groomed into performing sexually online. And brace yourself, thousands of images and videos featuring children between 3 and 6 years old. This is happening in a child's bedroom, over a webcam on an iPhone, iPad, or computer. Just this week, I released an entire episode on CSAM with cyber trauma expert Kath Nibbs. It covers everything that parents need to know. Please watch on YouTube or listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. But my plea to parents is this: please do not allow your young children solo time unmonitored on a digital device. If your kids have access to devices in your home, just implement a rule that they need to be in the living room or wherever you are so that you can watch and you can listen and protect them. Okay, moving on. Another new study by a UK charity called Internet Matters found that 77% of girls aged 13 to 16 view online harassment as so standard it's not even noteworthy. Being sent nude images or being asked for sexualized photos is just part of being on Snapchat or Instagram, they're sharing. And predators are getting extremely creative, like a 25-year-old man in Florida named Marvin Wagner, who is currently being charged for paying young girls to send him nude photos on Snapchat. This man pretended to be a girl named Carla on Snapchat in order to gain the victim's trust. And for about a year, Marvin would send increments of $20 or $50 via Cash App accounts in exchange for nude photos. Or like a 24-year-old man named Ishmael Duncan in London, who was just sentenced to 18 years in prison. Ishmael posted as a modeling agency scout on Snapchat. He would approach girls as young as 9, asking if they want to model for well-known fashion brands, then ask their age and personal details. He took them through a lengthy interview process to build their trust, even sent a legitimate-looking contract featuring brand logos. After the interview, he would request topless pictures to assess the victim's body shape for adding potential clothes to be modeled. Once the photo was received on Snapchat, the blackmail would begin. Police officers ended up finding over 19,000 indecent images of children on Ishmael's devices, and investigators estimate that he contacted nearly 10,000 children on Snapchat. And parents, this is not a one-off case. As research is showing, it's so common that teens expect to be solicited. We can't ignore that when our young children spend time on social media, they are vulnerable to predators. Please delay their access, monitor their use, have open conversations about the fact that there are people who will try to take advantage of them. One more new research piece, this time concerning young boys. A new campaign from Vodafone reveals that, on average, boys 11 to 14 are exposed to harmful content within 30 minutes of being online. and 1 in 10 are seeing it in just 60 seconds. The algorithm is pushing these boys' content promoting misogyny and violence, even following innocent and unrelated searches. Over half of these boys are aware of and have engaged with content from influencers with ties to the manosphere, which is a term used to describe a network of online communities responsible for creating and promoting negative, often misogynistic content against women. 1 in 5 parents have noticed a gradual change over time in the language their sons use to talk about women and girls. And 70% of teachers have seen a rise in sexist language in the classroom during the last 12 months. This is a topic to make your sons aware of if they're spending time scrolling on any social media site or video streaming site. Misogynistic content is going to be pushed in their direction. Now we're going to talk about Meta. New court documents are showing that Meta is a bit of a snoop. The documents show that in 2006, Facebook launched a secret project called Project Ghostbusters, which is a reference to Snapchat's ghost-like logo. What they were doing was intercepting and decrypting network traffic between people using Snapchat's app and its servers. The goal was to understand the Snapchat's user behavior and help Facebook compete. They did a similar, also illegal move against Amazon and YouTube. There were even emails found from Mark Zuckerberg himself requesting his team to write the software used in this spying tactic. So Facebook essentially bought technology and paid people to snoop on Snapchat and their users. This is all part of a 4-year-old lawsuit brought against Meta in California by Facebook advertisers who allege, among other things, that Meta's anti-competitive behavior, including data interception and arrangements with other companies, increased prices for ads and harmed the competition. One more update on Meta. You may have seen that Instagram and Threads are now filtering political content out of your feed. This applies to accounts that you do not follow. So if you follow someone, you'll still see their posts. But if you don't and their content is deemed political by Meta, you won't see the content in your feed. So what does political content mean to Meta? Political content has been defined as posts about laws, elections, or social topics. Social topics seems pretty broad to me. And in the days since they implemented this filter, I have actually seen a very sizable drop in my impressions. And I'm wondering if my content at Scrolling to Death has been labeled under social topics. I also don't always have great things to say about Meta or Instagram, though what I report is fact, research, or a personal story. What do you guys think? So if you don't want your feed to be filtered, you can change the setting. Just tap the 3 lines at the top right of your Instagram app, scroll about halfway down to the content preferences, click political content, then choose don't limit political content. I'm not loving this update and how Meta gets to decide what content gets seen and not seen, but that's what we signed up for, to be users on a platform owned by a company that cares about profits, not people, not facts. Ending on that note today, thank you for listening to the Big Tech Gut Check here on Scrolling to Death. I'll catch you next week.